How's it going, Sean?
Going well, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing real good. We got a busy schedule coming up, don't we?
Busy, man. I'm looking at it right now. We've got a lot going on.
Why don't you tell me what do we got first?
So the first thing we got is TRA, the Roofing Academy out of Colorado with Randy Brothers. Very excited to do that. We get to speak. Phil Sanoff, one of our shareholders, is going to be there as well speaking. Colorado's been pummeled with storms, so
Yes.
I think the more information, the better as far as processing insurance claims and getting those filed. That's exciting. So we've got that first. That's what, tomorrow.
Well, yeah, it's Thursday and Friday, and tomorrow's going to be like kind of a little bit of fun. We're going
Right.
to do Top Golf kind of mixer type thing, loosen up, and then Friday's going to be the day of learning and then more networking
Yep.
as well for the academy, for the Roofing Academy. So that will be fun. That'll be a lot of fun. I always love going to Colorado.
Always love going to Colorado.
So we're going to be doing that this week. And then after that, we've got, I know, a few things coming up in October.
Yeah. I think one thing that you love, right, is getting an opportunity to go actually really connect with policyholders. So
Absolutely.
mid-October, we're going to go kind of identify and look at some denied storm damage out of an IDA claim. So we get to video that and get with the policyholder and just kind of run through her experience, which, we've done a couple of those, and I think those are always I feel like the result of those, at least for me, is that it's reassurance of why we're actually doing this, and we get caught up in our busy lives and what we need to do, and we got to file that whatever. But I think the real point is like we're trying to help people. Absolutely. And so getting that opportunity to go out and interview and see what real damage looks like and what these people have gone through.
Well, it's one of those things where you're working and things come fast and furious, and you're looking at policies and you're talking to referral sources and you're doing the litigation work and all of that. But at the end of the day, there's a human being behind all of that.
Right.
And their livelihood is usually at stake. They're in a state of emergency.
Yep.
And, as a marketing guy, for me, that's what interests me the most. I want to really get in touch with the people and the stories behind the cases and really dive into that, because that's the work we're actually doing.
Right.
And I think it's really important to highlight that and to really elevate their voice, because it can get super lost in the shuffle when you're talking about, the vast amount of damage that one of these storms can do. The individuals that get caught in that tend to get drowned out by the enormity of the damage.
Right.
And we can kind of get in there granular and showcase that, which is nice.
Yeah, I think the one thing that's also exciting about that kind of stuff is before I worked here, when I got my home policy, I just signed it. It was whatever. I don't know. Cool. Yep. That's great. Good. I got coverage. But there's so many things that, are important in there, exclusions and all of the above, that really need to be noted. And I just think that a lot of people are in you and I's position prior to being in the industry, is just signing these homeowner policies and not educating ourselves through what's really important and what in the event that something does bad happens, what we need to do. So the beautiful thing about being able to film that stuff too and having that connection with the policyholder is that we also get to share that. And hopefully the end game is to educate more policyholders on what really happens. So that's exciting. I'm exciting and sad at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's a sad reality that it exists.
Right.
If everything worked as it should in an idealistic world, we wouldn't exist.
Right.
So the sad reality is that storms happen. Catastrophes happen, they damage property, and a lot of times the policies and the insurance claim process doesn't indemnify those people.
Right.
And so then that's where we have to come in and step in and help them out. And in the middle of all of that process and legalese and all of those things, there's emotion and people's homes, their businesses, their livelihoods caught up in that. And when you're in that mindset, if I'm in a emergency situation, or some kind of random thing happens, life becomes pure chaos. And I'm not going to know what to do, or maybe I'm just not thinking in that clear state. And so I think a lot of people, when they're in their situations, they might not know about resources like Daly Black.
Right.
And so the fact that we can not only, we can talk about our wins, and we can talk about, how good we are in the courtroom as trial attorneys, and talk about our processes, and all of that is fair. But when it comes to someone in crisis, they want to know that you can help people like them. And the only way to do that is to share those stories and to show people what it really looks like. Right. So I'm excited for that. That's going to be a lot of it's going to be a lot of fun to get to meet these people and to share their experience. Yes, it's sad, but I look at it with optimism, because the fact that they're with us means that they did reach out for help.
Right.
And they do have somebody that is fighting for them, advocating for them. So that makes me hopeful.
Yep. It'll be good.
Absolutely. So then what? Then what do we got?
We got a little event. We're working with some new relationships in the Denver community. Obviously, Denver's been pummeled with storms as of May 7th, I think, right? And then just like it seems like every week they're been getting hit. So creating an event out there that we're just going to invite contractors, public adjusters, kind of help them educate through the process. I think what we note is that in the beginning of all of these storms, right, carriers pay out and there's no problem. But, it's been our experience, I think, with like that kind of 5, 6, 7 month period is when denials and underpayments really start coming into play, because those carriers hit their reserves. And so that's where they really need help. That's, the bottleneck for, not only contractors, but, public adjusters, right? Because a public adjuster can be very helpful and they do a lot and they can talk policy, but I think the end game is that they can't enforce policy and they don't necessarily have the strong arm that the attorneys have. So, again, just trying to be a resource to folks out there and running through a, hopefully like, I don't know, Top Golf or something where we do an event out there.
Yeah, do something fun, do something educational, and really just try to connect and network with people that might need our advice, and anything that we can do to help people is really what we're after when we do these events. That sounds amazing. And then I know shortly after that, there's RoofCon.
RoofCon
will be in Orlando, and then somewhere RCAT's early in October. I think we skipped that. Yeah, you missed that. RCAT's the 5th and 6th.
DRA. Right. This week.
Yep.
Right. Next week is RCAT in Houston, which nothing better than being driving to the event instead of flying. RCAT's always been great. I've attended a lot of conferences, especially in the year and a half that I've been doing this, and kind of learning what motives are from people. But RCAT seems to be a very educational event, and there seems to be a lot of resources for people to throughout the entire industry to gain some sort of knowledge from. So excited about RCAT. A lot of relationships that we have are going to be there too. So
well, hey, I love RCAT, and I love doing conferences and events. It's like my thing. So all of our viewers who are going to RCAT, come stop by our booth. We're going to have a PS5 giveaway. And then once you win the PS5, you're obligated to add me as a friend so that we can get together on some Call of Duty and win some matches there. But that's going to be a lot of fun. Just come say hi to us, drop your business card or your contact info, and then you'll get a chance for the raffle to win the PS5. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So then now we're in what? So we did RCAT. We're going to do our case study. And then we're going to go back to Colorado for an event.
And then I think that following week, right, I think we're in Scottsdale. Rocky Mountain Public Adjusters are doing their fall event, so we get to be a part of that as well. I know that we've had a relationship kind of on and off with them, especially with the delay of storms that they've had. So we're excited to get back involved with them and continue to grow relationships and be a resource. And then what do we got? I think we got something else mid-November. It's busy, man.
Well, I know, we just recently got hit along I-35 in Texas with massive hailstorm, massive hailstorm. I was doing some research on it this week, and I think it's going to be upwards of 250,000 to 300,000 properties affected.
Yeah.
It's a massive storm. So what we're looking to do is host a webinar event in the first week of December for the folks in that area that want to learn more about the claim game and how to set up the files and just really the steps you need to take to get the most out of this for the policyholders. So that'll be a free event that we're going to be setting up, and you'll be seeing some registration links and things like that coming out very shortly. But that'll be the first week in December. We're thinking the 6th or 7th, but I'll have more concrete info on that. And then I believe we're going to be in that area as well, but probably in the new year, maybe doing an event in person.
Yeah,
as well.
Absolutely, for sure.
That'll be great.
It's going to be hard, I think, for carriers to deny 2 to 4 inch hail damage.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
What we've seen so far as damage photos, it's wild. Yeah, I've never seen anything that big, again, in my short term in this industry, but it's been pretty wild looking.
It's been a crazy storm season in general.
Right.
I mean, Texas got pummeled early in the summer. Then we had the heat wave that kept all the storms away, but then drove all that to Colorado. And then we had the hurricane in Florida that, was impactful, but, thankfully it missed a lot of the larger markets. So
Right.
you're not have as much damage as maybe you would have seen before. And thankfully they're still recovering from Ian. And then now at the end of the season, we're seeing these big storms coming back through Texas, and we still have a few more weeks on hurricane season before it ends. So it's been a wild 2023.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's staying busy. That's for sure.
Yeah. What we really want to do is, while you're busy, we want you to work smart, and I think that's, one of the messages that you deliver so well is, as a law firm in this industry, if you're a contractor or a public adjuster, use us to save yourself the headache from fighting these claims. Get with us early on. We'll help look at the policy. We'll help look at the claim. We'll look at the damage, and we'll give you an idea of if this is something for litigation or not, and if we can really help you, because that's what we're here for. And
Right.
the faster you learn that and the faster you get through that process, then you can go on to the next roof, right? And get on to the next sale. And that's really the goal.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, guys, what the most important thing and my main message to contractors and public adjusters and everybody out in the field that are trying to work with these policyholders is, time is your most valuable asset. So spend your time doing what you're good at and what you get paid for. What's terrible, right, is you got contractors that go out for their second, third, adjuster appointments, and it seems to me that if they deny on the first one, that they're going to deny on the second and third. So spend your time doing what you're good at, right? Take that second and third appointment and send it off to us. Yeah. We can review it and see what's going on, review the policy, review the damage, and it gives you, the contractor, the opportunity to go do what you're good at and go spend your time making money.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's not even addressing the potential up of risk.
Right.
But yeah, absolutely. We should all be doing what we're good at in an ideal world. Right. And if you're a great roofer, then just build roofs, put roofs on. Yeah. If you're a great salesperson, get out there and sell. Right. If you run into an issue with your insurance company or with the policyholder's insurance company, then send it to the experts. Mm-hmm. We're one of those experts. We're an attorney. PAs also can be a good option, but like anything else, you want to weigh what are the pros and cons of going either direction. I can tell you right now that if you send it to us first, we'll give you a no BS response and review of that claim. And if it's not something that we're going to take, then you still have the option to go with a PA.
Right.
And then that way you're taking the step to look at it with an attorney first, where you're not going to eat that 10%. Right. And then you can save that 10% play for if we just, if that's not a claim that we can service for whatever reason, then a PA might be able to step in and get you that extra money to build the roof. but that's just, what do I know? I'm just a marketer. But that's the way that I see it. And I think that it would help a lot of people if they built a really solid relationship with a credible attorney, so that you can actually trust that the attorneys are looking at this thing, vetting the claim properly, vetting the damage, and giving you a no BS answer
Right.
on what can come from that,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the end game, right? Is we just want to be a resource and a tool, and these folks' tool belt. If they need us, we're there, right? So generate that relationship. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've had calls where I've had to call both the policyholder and the contractor and say, hey, we're not taking this case because of X or Y. And, as much as I, don't want to have that conversation, by the time I hang up, I've had many of these relationships say, man, thank you for that. I really appreciate that. We knew that X would be a factor, or that, but at the end of the day, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's no damage. There's not a potential other solution, and we can lead you to those solutions. But at the end of the day, what we have to remember, and that you guys have to remember, is that Daly Black is here to make policyholders whole. Yeah. That's the goal. If we can't do that, and there's not enough damage, or there's an exclusion in the policy, or whatever the case may be, we're not going to take it, right? Because at the end of the day, that just pisses everybody else off. Right at the end of the finish line, right? People aren't made whole. Contractors don't get the work. There's not enough money to do the job. Whatever the case may be, we want to make sure that we can get you everything that we need, and that the policyholder gets what they need, contractor gets the work. Everybody's happy at the end of the day.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan to me. I mean, that's what we're in this game for.
Right.
I mean, that's why we're here. You come from fitness industry, you own a gym, you're not a lawyer, you were never an insurance adjuster.
Yeah.
I come from the music industry background, definitely not a lawyer.
Yeah.
And we're both been drawn into this industry, but not because of the industry, it's because of Daly Black. And I know for me, I was sold on this because we do help people who need help. The way I looked at it in my head is that every single client of ours are victims.
Right.
Every single person is a victim in one way or another. And the fact that we can use the litigation arm, and we can lean into the strengths of our trial attorneys to help these victims, is what sold me. Because, people still ask me, all my old friends, like, why are you working for a law firm? What? Didn't you?
Yeah.
Weren't you working with Interscope? Like, this doesn't make sense to me. Make it make sense. And it's like, well, because I like to help people.
Right.
And like, who name a bigger bully than the insurance company? Maybe the government. Yeah. Maybe I can't. Maybe banking. I don't know. I can't think of a. I mean, that's a big bully that has all the resources in the world to just hold out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm proud to work for a firm that doesn't just want to play nice and settle, that wants to actually take them to task. And that's really what drew me in here.